You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris. Ooh, welcome into another exciting live stream here at the headquarters of Just Another Chris under Mall of America. I don't think anyone's ever gotten that reference. But welcome in. We're here to chat a little bit more about the pretty exciting news that was recently released and announced by a company I'm not familiar with. I know some people might have heard of them, but I haven't. And according to or looking at my comments from the video I released yesterday on this company topic product, if you will, not a lot of people have heard of them either. So I want to talk a little bit deeper. I'm gonna look at it, have a discussion with you guys, because there's some things I didn't put in that video that I took out. I want to talk about it now. So let's have a little bit of a chat. Keaton's welcome. Says, hey Chris, watch your other vid on this. Still think the Polaroid SX70 with 600 I-type mod is better. That's an interesting take. Because one, this camera here, which I'll pull it up here. We'll take a look at it in a second. Doesn't shoot Polaroid film. Yeah. And if you're just joining and have no idea what we're even talking about, we're gonna be talking about the 10 Art CC Pocket Fold 66, which is an homage, I guess, to an SX70. They released a why don't I just show it? Oh, because I have the technology. This is what we're talking about. It has the aesthetic and look of an SX70. However, it's not going to shoot Polaroid film. It's going to shoot Instax square film. And the idea is that it will fold and fit in your pocket. I'm about that. I like that. I do like that. I've been saying for years, maybe this is where they got the idea from. I don't know. But I've been saying for years that Polaroid themselves should make a foldable type camera for Polaroid Go film. I think that'd be so cool. Make a Polaroid Go camera that it can actually fit in your pocket. Well, this company is making a camera that will fold and in theory fit in your pocket. But it's going to be in the aesthetic of an SX70. Now, going back to the original comment there from Keaton, he's saying that the Polaroid SX70 with 600/I-type mod is better. I don't know. It's hard to say because, well, one, it's still an SX70 camera, and those are pretty large. They don't really fit in your pocket. This is going to be a little bit of a different design. But outside of that, I don't know. But it's an interesting take. Captain Music Guy. I always wanted the SX70 with autofocus and flash, but I have the Sun 660. Great camera. Just did a video on that, comparing it to the Polaroid Flip, and that 660 crushed it. Did a fantastic job. It's a good camera. But the SX70 sonar is great camera. It's one of my go-tos. And then you can have the mint flash bar on there. It's detachable. I think it's a better setup than a 680 because my SX70 is converted to shoot 600 film. But yes, there should be a folding Go. There should be. And these guys aren't doing it with Go film, but they're doing it with Instax square film. And so that is pretty exciting. I want to go in a little bit deeper here. Something I didn't include in this video, but one of my questions and concerns, not really concern, but one of my questions that comes along with this camera, because we barely know anything. We have this one image. That's it. It's like a 3D render sneak preview of this camera. But if it is an SX70 design, how's it going to work with Instax film? Because the way a Polaroid camera works is it inserts from right here, right? And you look through the viewfinder here, there's a mirror that bounces here, comes down off this back part, there, wait, no, I have it backwards. Comes to here, and there's like another mirror. Somehow it comes back out through here. Can't remember. because then there's a folding mirror in there. A lot of mirrors, right? Instax film doesn't need mirrors to take their pictures because they expose on the back side of the image. If you expose the Polaroid directly to the front, the image will be inversed. It'll be backwards, or mirrored, if you will. And so it's interesting to see how this is going to work. I don't think it's going to use mirrors, which is another interesting, or I should say it draws more questions, because through the viewfinder, is it digital? Like, it's a digital optic you're looking through, and then when you take the picture, it just, maybe you load it to the back. I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have with how this camera is going to operate. If the camera design will be similar to SX70, do you think that images will be reversed? Yeah, we were just talking about that. I don't know, because I don't know how it's going to work. Is this going to be actually I have it right here. Is it going to be a digital film camera hybrid? It's possible, because then it would eliminate all of that. And you look through the viewfinder, which is up here. Wish there was the, oh, here we go, much better picture. If you look through right here, right, it doesn't look like there's anything connected to look through here, because the true SX70 is you look through here, then there's a mirror that bounces around different ways to look through the lens, but that's not needed if it's Instax film. So I don't know. Draws some questions. It draws some questions. Based on the silhouette, and it is using Instax square. If it is the SLR, my guess is that the image will be reversed and not a 1-for-1 like the original, but hey, I might be surprised. I'm betting Model 3 design. Yeah, but even then, Model 3 Polaroid still used mirrors, right? So I don't know, unless there's an extra mirror to counteract the image from being flipped inside there. Or maybe the film is going to load to the back of the camera and not here. That'd be so weird. But maybe that's possible. That way the light comes directly through the front, exposes right to the film, and maybe it ejects somewhere out the back. I don't know. This is just a 3D render mock-up. It's not the actual product, so who knows what will happen. But it does seem just, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Outside of that design, to see if the images will be inversed or not inverse, that's not the right word I'm looking for, mirrored, flipped, is the way you get one of these. It's a pre-order system, and they apparently put 200 up for sale and they already sold out. And the pre-order sale was $633, I think it was. But in the bio, I don't have that pulled up. It took me a while to figure out how to get to that part, because a lot of this is in Chinese. Some of it isn't translated, but I think it was just, hang on, let me try and pull it up. I think it, but on their site it said basically, trust me bro when you order it. Trust me bro. Let's see. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, how do I get back to there? When I was recording that video yesterday, it took me like half an hour to figure out how to buy it. Oh, I got here. We're back. We're so back. Okay, this is the actual site that they sell on. This is their like their information site, I guess, or announcements. Where is, there it is. Wait, there's two of them? I don't know, there's two of them. This one's $0. Okay, but this one, yeah, $633, and I guess the retail price of it is going to be $719. Let's try and translate this. Oh, it's not translating now. Yeah, there we go. English. But down in here, trust me, and I'll give you my full support. It's very interesting because when you place the order, it's a early bird blind pre-order. And then it says once you buy it, you're supposed to take a screenshot of your order so then you can be added to a group. I don't know. The way they have it set up is very interesting. Very interesting. Hello. Polaroid should revive this design. Love my SLR 680, but it's so old I'm hesitant to take it out as often as I'd like. So I've been on the record. I said this in the video I put out yesterday on this camera. I've been on the record saying two things. One, that they will never put out an SLR camera in the year of the future, like right now, modern days. And two, I'd said if they did, the camera would cost astronomically ridiculous prices. And when I say they, I was referring to Polaroid specifically. And I still stand by that statement. If they did, it would be because just the mechanics of making that work, that all those mirrors, there's so many mirrors in there. Manufacturing that type would be really, really expensive. But this company is coming out of nowhere with it. That's why I'm so confused, because it's still going to be super expensive, but there's no way that it would need to operate the same, or with the same engineering as a Polaroid camera, because Instax film develops and exposes differently. So that's why it's a little bit, quote, cheaper, but not really, still really expensive. But it would be cool if Polaroid did something like this, an I-type version of an SX70, even if it wasn't a SLR camera, even if it was just like a foldable type camera, would be really cool. Would be nice to see. I don't see them doing it though, because they had the ability to do that, but they put out the i2 instead. A hybrid is an interesting assumption. When you were reading the description on the websites, they did call it Instax paper. They did. But I think that's just a translation issue, because I am translating this like you just saw on the site from Chinese. I just think it's a thing that they said. I believe the TT Artisan, their camera that's coming out this fall, on their original site, I think they labeled it as paper as well, but it's not. That shoots Instax mini film, but they called it mini paper. I think it's just a translation thing. I wonder how the ergonomics would change due to the camera being so smaller for the film. The buttons on the 670 were already relatively small. I don't know. But I would like to see a pocketable instant camera. There are dimensions of the camera in here. That was one of the other things I wanted to talk about. 16 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters. So when it's folded, it's 4.5 centimeters. What is that in inches? Let's go, just in case. Should have done that. Okay. What was it? 4.5 centimeters to inches. 1.7 inches. It's pretty thin. And then it was, what was it? 16 and 10. Let's see. So at its longest, it'll be 6 inches long. That's crazy. Dang, that's gonna be like, do I have a tape measure? I do. Measuring my phone. Okay, so I have a iPhone 12, which is an old phone, 12 Pro Max, and it is 6.5 inches long. So this is actually longer than the this camera is going to be, and it's going to be about 2 inches ish. It's about 2 inches thick. And then how wide is it going to be? It's 10 centimeters. So close to 4 inches. Dang, is it going to be the size of this phone? Holy crap, almost. A little bit bigger. 4 inches is right here. It's about an inch bigger than an iPhone 12 Pro Max. That's going to be a pretty small camera. That's going to be awesome. And it's metal in construction too, unlike Polaroid cameras. which are SX70s, they're actually all plastic. They look metal. I used to think they were, but no, they're all plastic. They're just made to look like metal. I'm trying not to get hyped because I already know I can't afford it. Yeah, same. I'll wait. Maybe I can get a test unit. That would be fun. But it doesn't look like it's coming anytime like soon. I think what they did was they put those pre-orders up a few days ago just so they could start production. So realistically, it probably won't be here until next year sometime. Late next year is my guess. But who knows? I know nothing. I'm purely speculating. But it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm very intrigued by it. Just the fact that it's small, it could fit in my pocket. That would be cool. I wonder if there is any updates on that other camera. Let's see here. What was it called? A few months ago, there was a camera teased. There it is, the TT Artisan 203T. Let's look that up. Let's see. Art. 203T. All right, I'm curious. No updates of anything. Like, at least new. This is on their website. Okay, let's see here. I am curious. Search 203T. Nothing on their actual website. I wonder if it's actually going to happen. I hope it didn't. B&H has a coming soon. Well, okay. They have their on their site, at least. But no update since February. Yeah, this is that one. You know, and it looks pretty good and pretty pocketable. But yeah, I'm still intrigued by this one. Anyway, get back on track. What are the measurements of a pack of Instax square? I don't think there will be space left for any electronics. Well, I mean, it's foldable, remember that, so there would be room, because when they pop it open, it creates a lot more space. So yeah, there would be. Basically, it's probably going to just fold down to the size of a pack of Instax square film, which I don't have an empty pack of anything nearby, do I? No, I don't. I don't have anything nearby. Oh, well, that's a Polaroid. Nope. Guess not. I hope someone brings out an i2 equivalent for Instax film. Well, Mint kind of has that. They kind of do. But, yeah. As my headphones fall off. Man. Got something in my throat. I'll start a piggy bank. Yeah. Do it for me too. I hope it actually comes out. Also hope it gets big enough release to eventually get my hands on one. Was very reluctant to commit blind. Exactly. I wouldn't do it. Plus, I included this in the video too, but if you pre-ordered something, right? If you bought this blindly, and then in 6 months, let's say they announce that, oh, actually, we're gonna make it like not fold. It's actually just going to be fixed. Well, you're not going to want that anymore, right? So you have to probably try and get a refund. Well, they might not give it to you, and your credit card companies, they don't let you get a refund after like 90 days. So it's hard to have money tied up on something like that, like for that long period of time, and not know anything. So that's why I wouldn't buy this until it's until it's officially released, or like, hey, here's all the specs, here's everything, you can pre-order it, but it's coming out on this date. Then that's when I would do it. But right now they're literally just saying, hey, pre-order this blindly, trust me, bro. And now I did add the bro part, but it does say trust me. Trust me and I'll give you my full support. Trust me, bro. So yeah, it's a little tough to want to like get on board with something that you know nothing about. It sounds good on paper, but there's no actual pictures of anything. There's no release dates, and it's really, really expensive. If it was like $200, then, you know, maybe just throw some money at it. But having $633 tied up on a trust me, bro, I don't know. I think that's a pass for me for now. At that price point, it would be interesting to see if the design is the main seller or if the licensing / control will be a par competitors in the space like Mint. Well, Mint doesn't have great quality control, if that's what you're referencing. Mint's QC sucks. Sorry, I've spent $1,000 on one camera and it sucked, and then they did let me exchange it, but it came back worse, and then they stopped messaging me. So I've been stuck with $1,000 camera. It doesn't really work. Now it's double ejecting randomly. Their quality control is terrible. So we'll see what happens. That's all I really can say is, hey, we'll see. But can they legally take an existing design and use it? I would. So, I mean, if there's enough changes on it, right? And if it doesn't use the same film types, in modern days, I feel that, yeah, they could get away with it. Now, if they did this 40 years ago, 50 years ago, no, probably not. And I doubt that Polaroid themselves even own the rights to that design at this point. Because when Polaroid went bankrupt in 2008, right, they shut down, they're gone, they died. Polaroid is what you remember, it's gone, even to this day. It's operated under a new company that just bought the name. I doubt they purchased design rights and things like that. And even then, the design, like, I'm no lawyer, I'm no copyright or trademark or patent lawyer, but I would imagine those contracts and those design rights have lapsed at this point, because they haven't made any of these types of camera designs since the 80s. No, sorry, it would have been in the 90s. This is the SLR 690 came out in the 90s. So I would imagine no, I don't think so. And I don't think Polaroid could do anything, even if they wanted to. So whoever might own those designs, then maybe. But it's also a Chinese company that's putting this out, so they'd have to get a lawyer and fight them overseas. So I don't think so. I think it's fine. That way I lost 400 euros on Kickstarter backing Nixie Tube wristwatch. Yep, I was gonna bring that up. I got sidetracked, but yeah, Kickstarters, Indiegogos, any of those backer site stuff, it's always a gamble if it'll actually happen or not. Because this company could just take all this money and just randomly be like, oh shoot, sorry, we ran out of money, or maybe they get sued for the design after all. I mean, anything could happen. And so it's just a risk. That's why I personally would just wait until it's officially released if it happens, because you could be out all this money. I remember years ago, I'm so glad I didn't do this. Back like 10, oh gosh, almost 10 years ago. Whew, makes me feel a little bit better. Not quite 10 years ago. In 2017, when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 came out, there was a company called Anovos. High-end, top-of-the-line replica company. They'd make just cool. They make the coolest stuff. Like replica, like Star Wars, like clothing, costumes, trooper armor, all sorts of stuff. They did Star Trek stuff, like their uniforms, but they started doing Marvel licensings, and they were able to use the original designs from like from the movies, like costumes and stuff. Like I think it was a Black Widow like costume and things like that. It was so cool. But they announced that they were putting out a Star-Lord jacket from Volume 2. Yeah, I'm like, I want that song. I want that. It was like $500. It might have been more. I think it was like, actually no, I think it was like $350 or $400 because the way they would do it was similar to this. You do your initial pre-order pricing, and then usually within a year and a half, it finally come out, but the price would go up, right? By the time it gets to the official release. I almost did it, but then it disappeared, and then it came back for more money, and then Novos company went out of business. For years, it was that everyone had this lost their money. It was like, by the time they were done, I was reading articles where people had spent over $600 for pre-orders, and the company went under, and then a new company bought the company and keep it going. But they don't have to honor any of the old stuff, so you just lost the money. And this could happen. It could happen. So with this, so just be careful when you pre-order stuff. When things sound perfect and so good to be true, and you want in on this, oh, I know, but I would hang on to your money and wait. Because I've never even heard of this company before, ever. This is a random, well, from my perspective, a random company out of the woodwork that's putting this out. Apparently, they've been around for about 6 years, but and I'll show you some of the other stuff in a second. But just be cautious. And then here's the thing: it's $633. You want to get it for the cheapest possible, right? It's not even that much more of a money when it's apparently officially released. It's going to be $720. It's not that much of a discount. Think about paying that extra difference as insurance. So if it is officially released, it's going to be $720, and then you're buying with confidence. This is a gamble. It's a gamble. Yeah, exactly. Patent ran out. That's what that's what I should have said at the beginning. They could use that design. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem. But this company also makes mostly Hasselblad stuff. That's what they're known for. Not instant cameras, but they make an instant camera back, I guess, for a Hasselblad. Whew. God damn, that's also concerning. This is $835, and it's not even a camera. It's just a camera back for Insac Square to fit on a Hasselblad camera. How is this more expensive than a custom built camera? All in one. That's also a little concerning. Because maybe it's not going to be this price after all. So exactly, it's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, they mostly just make Hasselblad stuff. What is this? Hasselblad. It's a lens hood. Okay, they have a light meter. That's something. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens with this. But right now, I would, if your guys were wanting to get on this, I would wait. Personally, I would wait. But it looks cool, and I am excited about it. I've been saying for years, I want a foldable instant camera that fits in my pocket, and I want Polaroid to make it. But for the Go film, how fun would that be? Oh, the Go's been so much fun to shoot. I kind of overlooked it for years. I did the initial like handful of videos back when it first came out, and then just kind of moved on, mostly due to the fact that I had to, because I had to review other cameras and things, and I don't get to shoot with a lot of the fun stuff that I really enjoy, because I have to shoot with other cameras to do camera review videos, which I did a live stream about this like last week or so. If you want to hear all that conversation, you can check out that video. But I just think with the Polaroid Go, because since I've been back with it, it's been so much fun to shoot with. Oh my gosh. Look, I even have a little milk crate. Shout out to Nop Top. I store my Go photos in there, like little records, and it's been so much fun because I haven't really been focused on too much of what I'm shooting. I'm just focusing on shooting with it. I'm taking pictures of things that I never would have thought to take a picture of before. Just because I'm like, I don't care, I'll take a picture of it. And then plus, look at that. You can't really see that, but I shot this portrait with my sister outside at night, no flash. It's crazy. You can get some killer freaking shots with that thing. So it'd be so cool to have a pocketable version of that. The Go is small, sure, but it's pretty bulky. You can't just slide it in your pocket. If they made that to where it like folded or somehow, woo, that would be, that's my dream camera right there. My absolute dream camera. I wonder what it'll look like, considering that putting Instax film in the SX70 design will get reversed images. Yes, we talked about that at the beginning. It is one of my questions that I have, because I wish I had a better way. Wait, is this one? There we go. Yeah, because when you look through this viewfinder, it doesn't look like it's connected to anything. Like, how do you see into this? Because on an SX70, which I do have one, right here. See how this lens hood is connected to the body, so when you look through, it bounces in. Ignore this. I have the replacement for this. Shout out to Polo Dress. Beautiful design. Look at that, beautiful. But when they first, I first got it, I guess they had an issue with their adhesive on this one, but they sent a replacement one. I just haven't stuck it on. But anyway, but see how it's connected though? It's all in there. Now on their design, it's not connected to anything, at least from this 3D rendering. Maybe you do look into here, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just kind of sitting there. So it makes me wonder if you look through this, but I don't know, because if the light's coming through the front, there's a mirror, right? But bounce here, 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 and then there's a mirror inside here that flips up. Light comes in, hits that mirror, bounces down onto the film. But Instax film, you don't need to do that because it exposes on the back. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't understand. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, I don't think there's anything there. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's like a little bit of something in the shadows. Can I zoom in here? How do I zoom in? Come on. There we go. Nope. Yeah, there's nothing there. In this picture, at least, this rendering. All right, get back. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it'll be curious. Maybe the lens is on the right side, and there is only one mirror. Well, see, the thing is, if there's one mirror, then your image is immediately flipped. There would have to be two, and no more, or four. Right? You know what I'm saying? So if there's one mirror that bounces and comes down, your image will be flipped. The reason that Instax film doesn't flip when you take a picture is because it exposes on the back. And on the back, it is taking a photo backwards. But you don't look at this on this side. You actually look at on the other side. So the film itself mirrors itself. So when you look at it through the front, does that make sense? Probably not explaining that very well. So if you add a mirror into that equation, then it'll come through correct orientation, and it's not mirrored. But since it's exposing onto the back, the front of the film will now be backwards. It'll be mirrored. So to counteract that, you would have to take the corrected image and then flip it somehow in the camera again to expose to the film. So there would have to be two mirrors. From my understanding, I could be wrong, but from my understanding, if you have one mirror to another mirror, it'll flip and then flip back. And then if there's another mirror, it'll flip and then another mirror will flip it back. Am I explaining that right? I hope I am. Probably not. I'm probably butchering that terribly. But yeah, so having just one mirror in here means there would have to be a second one, from my understanding. So if you're looking through here, well, not looking through there, the light comes through the front. If there's a mirror right here, right, that comes down to the film, now your shot is backwards. It's mirrored. It'll be flipped. Are they just gonna do that? I don't know. Maybe that's just something they're gonna do. I was just gonna say, yeah, here it is. It's foldable, but your pictures are all gonna be backwards. It's a possibility. They might not do it, or maybe it doesn't operate at all how we think. Maybe the light comes through the front, and the film itself is actually on the back of the camera, and it ejects through the, like, over here throughout the back maybe. And this is down here, maybe it holds the battery and some of the electronics and things. That's a possibility too, because we are thinking in the mindset of an SX70 camera, and the only other way to solve a problem without using mirrors is having the film on the back of the camera. That's my guess. That's my 2 cents on that. The promotional image feels like it's being initially vague to hide some downfalls with the camera, like a range finder. Well, yes and no. It does say on the site, where is it? Not this one. They have two. I think it's this one. Yeah, right here. So right here, focusing mode. This is where it gets a little fuzzy. Let me try and zoom in here right now. No, zoom. Where's the zoom? There we go. Focusing mode. Frosted focusing screen. Optical framing. What you see is what you get. That implies it's an SLR of a type. Frosted screen is a little confusing. I wonder if that's what they mean is a Fresnel, because that's what's inside of like an SLR for the mirror that pops up and down. That's possible, but it does say what you see is what you get. So I don't know. The film goes in upside down, so the light hits the back of the film. Well, how would you load the film backwards? Like the pack of film? Well, there's nothing, you can't expose it on that side. But yeah, the way Instax film works is the film is loaded backwards, right? But that's how all the shots are exposed. I wish I had an Instax photo handy. Do I have one? I might, but probably an exposed one, not a dead shot. Not the Will Smith one, but the Igra's elbow one. Okay, here we go. All right, so film is loaded with this side in the film. Actually, it's upside down. It'd be like this, right? It comes out like this, but this is the side that gets exposed on an Instax. And then when the chemical pod is spread, and you have your image on the front. It's actually the back. This is technically the back, if you want to look at it that way. But it's backwards if you looked at this, right? So that's how Instax gets away with not having to use a mirror inside their cameras. Polaroid has to, because they expose on the front. And this is also probably how they're getting away with not getting sued, or even back in the day, because the method of the film isn't just the size differences, but how it's even exposed to begin with. It's a different method. So if this gets loaded into the camera and there's no mirror, it'll come out like this. But this camera is an SX70 design. How are they going to do that without a mirror? And they're saying optical framing. What you see is what you get. that implies that when you look through the viewfinder, it's an SLR. So they're having to use mirrors. It's gonna be an interesting one to see how they pull this one off. Very interesting. I'm curious. Hopefully my crude description of that made sense. A flopping film back inside the camera would be pretty interesting design choice. Flopping film back inside. Flopping. I'm not sure what that means. Looked it up. There are true mirrors, non-reversing mirrors out there. Interesting. I didn't know that. Let's look that up. Are there mirrors that don't invert? Let's educate ourselves. Yes, there are mirrors that don't invert your image from left to right. They're often called true mirrors or non-reversing mirrors. They are created by joining two front surface mirrors at a 90-degree angle. Well, yeah, but gosh dang it, how are they gonna fit that inside that camera? Remember, this camera is like 2 inches thick. So basically from that image, there's two mirrors like this. Wait, hang on, let me grab 2 pictures. Oh, 10,000 subscribers. Oh, thank you guys. Imagine if these were 2 mirrors. They're saying take this mirror and then your second mirror and then you turn them at an angle until it makes an image in the middle. Yeah. I don't see how they're gonna be able to do that inside that setup. But hey, man, if they could figure that wizardry out, that'd be crazy. True mirror image. Yeah, but it still takes multiple mirrors to do it. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. What kind of other camera instance... Wait, can't read. What other kind of cameras, instant or otherwise, would you like to see as an Instax remake? Ooh. Maybe just like a Sun 660, like that sort of design where the flash pops up. It's kind of a retro look instead of like what Instax does or Fuji does, like bulbous, like I don't know, ugly cameras. So maybe like that, kind of like a retro style. That'd be fun. As if you insert an Instax pack through the film door, then it flips the pack up to where the mirror would be. But that still wouldn't solve the problem. So if you put it through the front, so what you're saying is you take that pack, you put it in upside down, and then it flips up. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So like an SX70, when you look through it, right, you frame up your shot, you take a picture. What happens on the inside is that the mirror, okay, you load the pack of the film in. There's a mirror in there, and it's flat. And there's mirrors on the top, so you can look through it. And there's a back mirror. No, that wouldn't work either. You look through there. I'm trying in my mind. I know what you're saying. So there's mirrors in there, so you can see out the lens. But then when you take the picture, this mirror flips up, and then the light comes in, hits that mirror, and then bounces down to the film pack and takes your picture. What Jungle Trooper is saying is that when you load your film in, the film then flips up and down as that mirror, right? So it would still operate like an SX70 where you're looking through the lens, and then the film is then put into the position. So when you take your picture, no mirrors are needed. That would be cool. That's some engineering right there. But I guess it could be done. That'd be crazy. Crazy cool. The SX70 uses 2 mirrors. and the Fresnel for the viewfinder, but only one mirror for the photo. Yes, exactly. They only use one to actually take the picture because it's exposed to the front, so that the photo itself inverts it because it's the way the perspective is seeing it into the front. Yeah, mirrors, man. Who knew? The engineering. Something digital like the Instax printer design wouldn't surprise me, or if it's implemented in some ways in the camera. That's one of my other theories that we kind of talked about at the beginning, where it's a digital film camera hybrid, like the Evo series of cameras. It's possible. But then I don't know. Based on all their other stuff that they make, they feel like feel more like they want to stay true to the film and not do that. But who knows? I think my best guess and best theory is the Jungle Trooper theory. That's what we're gonna call it. Jungle Trooper theory. You load the film in, and that film pack flip goes up and down. But you would have to load it in upside down, the pack, and then it flips up in position and comes down. That way you can still see through the lens. That has to be how it's done. Has to. If you want to get away without a mirror, then the film would need to be parallel to the lens. Otherwise, nothing would be in focus. Yeah. I still say that's the other way. But yeah. Woo! I like how we've come up with these ideas, theories. I'm excited. I really am. I hope this thing actually happens, because this would be a feat of engineering and a kind of a revolutionary design in a way that we haven't seen since the original SX70. The Instax, or the instant photography world, really hasn't seen any innovation in an extremely long time. The i2 kind of did it, sort of, but not really, because we had all that options already, and the design of the camera is still a box type camera that's been around forever. The SX70 was a revolutionary piece of engineering and technology of its day, and we really haven't seen it since. So seeing something like this could be cool. So hopefully it happens. Now, the only thing that I don't like about it, from what I'm reading, is that it has a built-in rechargeable battery, not replaceable, at least easily. Can't just pop it in and out, right? I would much rather have a freaking removable battery for that price point. Dang, I mean, how hard is it, people, to do that? Apparently pretty hard. Because could you imagine going and buying like a mirrorless DSLR or whatever, right, and spend the $1,000 on the camera and a battery's built into it? Whew. Because then one day that's going to go bad. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. But yeah, it has a built-in non-removable battery. It also has this, which I don't understand. It says expandable module. Are they just meaning that itself, like it pops open? That's the other thing I don't quite know. And it is automatic. It's not manual controlled. And it doesn't have like Bluetooth connectivity. So it's still an automatic camera, just like the SX70. So, and then this is where it says the Instax square paper. I think that's just a lost in translation type thing. But yeah, price, right now it's a pre-sale, sold out. And then the official price, TBD, pre-sale price, TBD. No, it's $633. Official price not yet announced, but I'll be following this. Are you guys gonna follow this? Are you gonna get one? Because I guess they might do another round of pre-orders. It sounds like. Where is it? I think it said something like that. I read that somewhere. I can't remember where I read that. But they might do several, and there'll be different price points each time. I think it'll just continually go up, and until it's a final official release. Doesn't Instax film get exposed from the other side compared to Polaroid? Doesn't that image flip? Can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, we just talked about all that in length, and we came up with a solution. So if you want to hear that, you can watch the replay, because we're just about to wrap it on up for today. Appreciate you guys hanging out, chatting about this new camera release. I am excited about it, but I'm also a little leery about it. Don't be giving this much money blindly, and don't go with the trust me bro thing that they, don't go with that. Wait till things are a little bit more locked in and more specs, more images, more concrete news. That's my advice to you guys. It's cool to want to support companies, brands, get them to stick around. I'm always for that, as you guys know, but we've never heard of this company really. They're coming out of nowhere making a camera. It's awesome to see, but it's also, let's be smart about it. And maybe I can work with them at some point, try it out, maybe get a test model. That'd be cool. And yeah, it'd be really cool to see this be released. But thank you guys so much for watching, hanging out. It's always a blast to see you guys here. And if you haven't seen the rest of this live stream, you can rewatch it. And watch yesterday's original review. We go way more in depth in that video. But until next time, get out there and make some art.